So in this lecture, guys, I'm going to talk about another data structure which exists inside a Python, which is a inbuilt one, and that is called as sets. So I'm going to talk about this particular data structure in a depth and in a detail with all kind of functionalities available inside a set. Plus, I'm going to give you assignments. So please try to attempt those assignments, which is going to enhance your knowledge a lot with a practical understanding, obviously. So here, I believe my screen is visible to all of you. So I'm going to create a variable s and then a curly braces open close, and here, so what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to check what is the type of this s. So by default, type of this s is a dictionary. This is what this Python compiler is trying to tell me. Now, if I'm going to create this variable once again, and I'm going to keep some data inside it, and then if I'm going to check what is a type of this particular data s, so now it became a set. Yeah, it became a set. So when there is a no data, so Python will try to recognize it as a dictionary. When there is a data, it will be recognizing as a set. So there is a set concept of set. There is a data type called as set, inbuilt data structure called as set, which exists inside a Python. Now, why we are even talking about a set? What is like a special about this particular set? What kind of a problem set is going to solve? Let's try to understand that particular part. So here, guys, I'm going to create again, and I'm going to keep some sort of a data inside this one, right? Any kind of a data, I'm going to just keep it inside this one. Okay, I'm just going to keep it inside this one. Maybe I'm going to keep my name SUDH, then I'm going to keep again my name SUDH with its capital, and then again I'm going to keep my name SUDH, then I'm going to keep Euron over here and execute. Yeah, execute. Okay, let me remove this extra. So here, this is my data set. Fine, this is my data set. Now, if I'm going to print this S, you must be able to see that a lot of the data we had inside my data creation point of a time, right? So when I was trying to create the data, I had this much of data, but now I have only this much. So where all this data has gone? This is the specialty of a set. This is what set does. So set will always try to remove the duplicates inside your data all the time. This is the special feature, and this was the whole idea behind building a set. And this is something set is going to perform. This is something set is going to do. It will always and always try to remove a duplicate from your data set by default. So let's suppose if I'm trying to read some sort of a PDF file, and I would like to know that how many unique words are there, or I would like to remove all the duplicates. I would like to keep only unique, pass inside a set, and it will be able to do the job for you. Simple, right? So it will be able to do the job for you. So here, this is what set is trying to do. Now you can ask me a question that we have SUDH two times. Now why we have this SUDH two times? The only reason is that Python is a case sensitive programming language. Python treats uppercase and a lowercase in a different way. It's not same for Python, by the way, right? It's not same at all for a Python. So here, right? So here, basically, you will be able to find out that one is available in uppercase, one is available in a lowercase, and because of that, it's keeping both, because it is going to treat all of these two in a different direction, in a different way. It's not going to be same. And eventually set is going to remove all my duplicates. Simple, right? Simple. Okay. So now I'm going to create a set back to back. So let's suppose if I'm going to create a set S1, and if I would like to keep maybe a tuples inside a set, will I be able to keep it? Yes, I can keep it. Let's suppose if I'm going to create a set S2 and I would like to keep a dictionary in, I would like to keep a list inside this one. Will I be able to keep? No, not at all. Why? Because the element inside a set is immutable. Set itself is mutable. You can mutate a set. I'm going to show you that part as well. So I will be able to like do the addition operation, remove operation, deletion operation, all sort of things. I will be able to do it. But set elements should not be a mutable one. It should be a immutable one. Set itself is mutable, but its element should not be mutable. Making sense? Yeah. And that is the only reason it is not allowing a list inside a set, because list is a mutable entity. It is allowing tuples because tuples is a immutable entity. It is going to allow a string because string is a immutable entity inside that. Yeah. So this is where set comes into a picture. Now, so I can't store a list inside it. Now let's suppose I have like a list. So will I be able to convert that list into a set? Yes, I will be able to convert it. Let's suppose I have a list. I can convert it into a set by calling just a set function. So this is a typecasting. I will be able to do it. Let's suppose I have a tuple. So I can again try to use a set function. And let's suppose I have to remove the duplicate out of the tuples. So out of the tuples, I have to remove the duplicate. So I can try to convert that one into a set, and I will be able to remove the duplicate. Simple as that. So I'm trying to typecast this tuple into a set. So list to set is possible. List to set is possible. Tuples to set is possible, and set to tuple possible, I believe. Yeah. So let's suppose I have a set S. Now I would like to convert this set into a tuples. I can call a tuple as a function. I can pass S. Bingo. I'm able to convert my set into a tuples. Now similarly, like a set to list. So yeah, I can call a list as a function, and I can try to pass my set. I'm able to convert my set into a list. So this is just a typecasting. This is just a type conversion. And yes, I'm able to do that typecasting. I'm able to do that type conversion. Okay. Now moving ahead, guys, moving ahead. So inside a set, for example, we have this set, right? S. Now inside a set, I have a lot of functions. There is a first function called as add. Now what add does? So add is going to add something inside the set. Like I said, guys, so set element should be immutable, but set itself is mutable. Means I'm able to add something inside a set. It simply means that it's mutable, right? It's mutable, by the way. Okay, so I'm able to mutate. I'm able to add 34 inside this particular set. Now set is called as unordered collection of the data. That's true that as you can see, there is no ordering inside this one, right? There's no ordering inside this one. So set is basically a unordered collection of the data. Now addition operation I'm able to perform. So I'm able to add something inside my set. Now again, I'm going to call set, and I'm going to perform a copy operation, right? I'm going to perform a copy operation. Copy where? Inside a set S1. I can do it. And I believe we talked about like a deep copy and solo copy concept. So this is basically a solo copy that we are trying to do. It's exactly same as the list operation that we have done. Most of the functions are exactly same. So you will not be able to find out much of differences over here. So add is something that we are able to discuss. Clear, wipe out the entire things. Copy, we have already discussed. Now let's talk about a discard in this place. Yeah. So what discard is going to basically do? So 34. Now let me show you. 34 is gone. Yeah. So I'm like able to delete something. So s dot discard once again. And this time, so I'm trying to discard something that doesn't even exist. It is not going to give me any issue. It is not going to give me any kind of a problem. So this is where discard comes into a picture. If you're going to hover your mouse, so remove the element from the set if it is a member. Yeah. If it is a member. Now there is another function called as remove, guys. So there is another function called as remove. Now, if I would like to remove 6, I can remove 6. That's fine. Now s dot remove. And here, so if I'm going to give some number which doesn't exist. Now, in case of remove, if number doesn't exist, it is going to give you this kind of a key error that this doesn't even exist. But in case of, right, in case of discard, it is not going to give you any kind of an error. The only difference is one gives an error, one doesn't. But at the end of the day, both are trying to remove the element. Both are trying to delete the element from your entity. Yeah, both are trying to delete the element. Both are trying to remove the element from your entity. As simple as that. Okay. Now set dot. So remove. Let's try to talk about difference. To do that, so here I have to create a set. Let's suppose S1, and S1 is basically 3, 4, 5. And then I can go ahead and create S2. S2 is, by the way, 1, 2, 3. Now, S1 dot difference, right? And S2, 4 and 5. Now, what is a difference from S1 in S2? So it simply means that what is there in S1 which is not in S2. In other words, you can say. So what is there inside S1 which is not in S2? 4 and 5. Vice versa, I can write it down. So S2 and then difference and then S1. Now, what is there? What is there in S2? What is there in S2 which is not in S1? So 1 and 2, right? So this is what a difference means, guys. So it is trying to do a differentiate between one versus other, yeah, in a sequence. So now there is another one called as basically intersection. So what is the meaning of intersection, by the way? So S1 intersection S2. So sorry, I have just written 2 over here. So S1 intersection S2. So what is the meaning of this intersection? So what is a common? Yeah, what is a common? Basically, if you remember the Venn diagram, so what intersection does? It is going to give you this common element, right? The common between two sets. So this is what this intersection is trying to perform. So whatever will be common between S1 and S2, it is going to give you that as a result. Simple, okay? Now, so the next one is basically S1 dot union. There is something called as union. So S1 dot union S2, right? It is going to give you the final set, which is a combination of both the set S1 and S2. So whatever element is available, whatever unique element is available across these two sets, it is going to give you that union, right? So it is going to give you basically this portion of a Venn diagram. So this and this, it is going to give you this portion of the Venn diagram. It is going to give you. So as simple as that, this is what union is trying to perform. So hope guys, you are able to understand this particular set and the kind of operation that we are trying to call with respect to a set. All of you are able to understand it. Yeah, all of you are able to understand it. Now let's talk about set1 dot pop. What it does, remove the element. As simple as that. Now if I'm going to hover my mouse, it simply pops up the element. Yeah, simply pops up the entire element out of the set at the end of the day. Now let's talk about maybe like a clear operation. So S1 dot clear, and it is going to wipe out the entire S1. Wiped out the entire S1 that we have. Now we can try to maybe like we have set S. Now there is something called as, let's suppose if I'm writing 2 in S, so it is going to check whether 2 is available in S or not. If it is available, it is going to give you true. If it is not available, it is not going to give you true. Means it is going to give you false. For example, this in set, if I have to check. So in is a keyword. So this in S I have to check. Yeah, it's false. Yes, it's false because this one is not available inside my set. Now, similar to in, there is a like a reverse of in you will be able to find out. So this not in S, true. Yeah, true. So 34 is not a part of my S and it's true basically. Not in, just a reverse of this in. So you can try to use like a in, or you can try to use maybe a reverse of it. It's completely fine. Yeah, it's completely fine. Now, let's try to talk about, let's create S1 once again. So S1, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then I have like a S2 and here, so I have 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now there is something called as a function starts with is. So we all know that the function which is going to start with is, it is going to return you true or it is going to return you false. So S1 is a subset of basically S2, true or false? False. S1 is not a subset of basically S2. Now I'm going to reverse it. So S2 is a subset of basically S1. And yes, it's true. 4, 5, 6, right? S2. So S2, 4, 5, 6, and S2 is a part of S1, as you can see. So S2 is a subset of S1, and that holds true over here, and that's the reason. So I'm able to get true in this particular place. Yeah. Now there is something called as frozen set, one single line of definition. If I don't want to create a mutable set, means if I don't want anyone to like update my set or add something inside the set, then what I can do is I can try to use a function called as frozenset inside a Python. Now here, so I can try to pass my list, and then I can try to create a set. Now, if I'm going to store it inside a variable, let's suppose f. Now, f is what? F is basically, if I'm going to check what is the type of this f, by the way, what is the type of this f? So basically it's a frozen set. Now, what is the meaning of frozen set? So it is going to hold a property of a set, means it is going to remove all the duplicates that you have inside your data, the way set does, but it is not having any such function called as you can see in the list of the function which it supports. So it is not having any such function called as add, or maybe an update, or maybe a like a discard, or maybe a remove. Means it is not going to allow you to do a manipulation at the end of the day. Yeah. So I hope this is making sense to all of us. So with that, guys, it's all about a set. See you again in a next lecture with a next chapter. Till then, see you everyone.